Hey guys, once again welcome to the lecture series on ethical hacking. In the previous video, we have gone through the transport layer level hijacking. Okay, how in the transport layer level we'll be using the TCP protocol, how the hijacking will be happen by the attacker. So in this lecture video, we'll be mainly talking about the application layer level hijacking. So the application layer, which will be the 7th layer in the ISO-OSI model. Okay, so how it will be happening. So how the attacker will be targeting. So it will be mainly focusing on the web applications. Why? Because the user interface will be carried out at the 7th layer. That is nothing but the application layer level. So it will be mainly hijacking it will be interpreting the protocols what we are using the application layer level, especially the HTTP protocol, HTTPS protocol, FTP protocol, Telnet, SNMP, SMTP, different type of protocols what we are using at the application layer level. Okay, it will be exploiting the session tokens and more of the cookies. The attacker what will be doing, he will be mainly stealing the session IDs. And moreover, they will be accessing the cookies also. Cookies are nothing but once I am logging into any sort of system, okay, I will be giving some sort of credentials. What are the credentials that has been given by the user until the session has been closed, until the application has been signed out? Those particular credential information will be maintained in the cookies. So the attacker will be attacking those particular cookies. And once he is getting over the control of the credentials what has been maintained at the cookies, okay, so he may take over the required session tokens, and he can make the required those particular session tokens are also cookie information for the future communication. So it is a common attack technique that will be performed by the attacker. Okay, there is a chance of having the cross-site scripting will be there, session fixation may be there. Okay, they will be gaining the control over the unauthorized access. Okay, these are the different type of things. So once the session token has been compromised, okay, there is no boundary. The attacker can act as if they are the legitimate and get the total needed information like credentials, information from the tokens, cookies, everything. So here the main problem is nothing but here the data is getting compromised and more of the user account details is also getting compromised. This is a situation for the application layer level hijacking. In the case of session sniffing, okay, session, as I said, is a time duration where the data communication will be carried out. So at this particular thing, the network traffic analysis will be captured. Okay, they will be capturing the total data that has been communicated between the trusted parties. And there is a chance here they can modify the required data and they can misuse the required data. Any sort of thing can be happened. They will be extracting the required session information. So for the future establishment of the session, in order to gain the trustworthiness, whether either from the source or else a sender or else a receiver, what they will be doing is nothing but what they will be extracting the total session IDs. Okay, these particular information will be consisting of the session, source IP addresses, their own MAC addresses, what is interested with, what is the session duration, what is the block size is expecting. Okay, so these particular information can be easily getting from the source and more of the receiver. So these information can be used for the future communication to behave as if they are of legitimate. Okay, it will be works best in the case of unencrypted networks. So that's why only I mean, as an ethical hackers like us, we'll have to always go with the trusted channels with encrypted networks, so that the data communication that has been happening will always be encrypted. Okay, so any unauthorized person cannot access that data, cannot understand that data, and we have to use these different type of sniffing tools. Okay, the hackers, they may be using the Wireshark, also the TCP dump or different type of tools to capture, to analyze the packets, what the flow that has been happening between the source and more of the receiver. So as an ethical hackers, we should be very much cautious about these session sniffing also. Next, predicting the session token IDs. So similar to that of the sequence numbers, what we have discussed in the case of TCP session hijacking, the application layer level, these particular session level, how the hijacking will be happening is nothing but by using these predictable session token IDs. Okay, the session ID will be generated by understanding by analyzing the simple and more predictable patterns with a small thing. Suppose in the case of packet size also, if it's a X is a packet size, next we will be expecting the Y, next we will be expecting the Z. If the session token ID is of some sort of X, next token ID may be of Y, next token ID may be of Z. These particular token IDs are used in order to establish the future sessions. Okay, so always we have to go with the proper generation of the session IDs. So we have to always avoid the randomness in this particular session IDs. The session ID should not be a sequential numbers. Always we have to go with the random numbers. Okay, so we have to avoid the attacker not to guess this type of session token IDs. Once the valid token ID has been guessed, has been identified, has been analyzed, automatically the attacker can access the system and he can authenticate the user as if he's a legitimate user, behaving as if he is a legitimate user, and he can misuse the sessions, and he can misuse the data also. Why? Because suppose, for example, let me go in detail about these things. Suppose source and moreover destination want to communicate with each other. So for the first starting from 10 to 10:30, they have established one particular session and they have the proper communication. In the next, the end of the session, okay, the source or else a receiver will be saying that, okay, next once again, we will be going to establish the required session by 11:15 or else 11:30, or else let's go with the 11:15. What the receiver and source will be thinking that the next session will be at 11:15. So this particular information will be maintained as a session token ID. If this information has been leaked out for the intruder, so the intruder will be making the required communication between the source or else a receiver by using these session token IDs. Why? Because a source or else a receiver will be expecting some sort of next communication will be done at 11:15. So these things can be hijacked. So always we have to go with the strong security measures. Using security, random tokens has to be generated by using different type of pseudo random key generations. We have to go with the long token length. Always we have to go with the proper communication trusted channels so that we can avoid this type of attacks. Thank you.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe VNR Digital Learning Resource YouTube channel.